Moses and the burning bush, a call to lead. Once upon a time, in the rugged wilderness of Midian, Moses, a humble shepherd, tended his father-in-law Jethro's sheep. Moses had once lived in Pharaoh's palace in Egypt as a prince, but now he led a quiet life in the desert. Many years had passed since he had fled Egypt, leaving behind his old life and memories. One day, as Moses was guiding his flock near Mount Horeb, known as the Mountain of God, he saw something extraordinary. Off to the side, there was a bush, ablaze with fire. The flames leapt and danced, but to Moses' amazement, the bush was not burning up. It didn't wither or turn to ash. It stayed green and alive within the fire. Curious and drawn to this strange sight, Moses decided to take a closer look. As he approached, a voice called out from the midst of the flames, "Moses! Moses!" Moses froze. It was the voice of God, and he answered, "Here I am." Then God spoke again, "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Moses, realizing the presence he was in, slipped off his sandals and bowed low, feeling both awe and humility. God continued, "I am the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." Hearing this, Moses covered his face, for he was afraid to look directly at God. Then God shared his heart with Moses. He said, "I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries for help, and I know how they are being oppressed. I have come down to rescue them from the hand of Pharaoh and bring them to a land flowing with milk and honey, a good and spacious land. And now, Moses, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Moses was startled and overwhelmed. "Him? Go to Egypt and stand before Pharaoh?" He stammered, "But who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" But God reassured him, saying, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." Still hesitant, Moses asked, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' What should I tell them?" God answered with a name full of meaning and mystery. He said, "I am who I am. Tell the Israelites, 'I am has sent me to you.'" God went on to explain, "This is my name forever, the name you shall remember throughout all generations." Then God gave Moses more instructions. He told him to gather the elders of Israel and tell them that God had seen their suffering and had promised to deliver them. God explained that Pharaoh wouldn't easily let the Israelites go, but that he would perform mighty wonders in Egypt until Pharaoh finally released his people. Moses was still nervous and doubting his ability. He worried about how the people would react, but God promised to be with him and even gave him signs to perform, like turning his staff into a snake and making his hand leprous and then healed, to show God's power was with him. Moses felt unworthy and told God he wasn't a good speaker. But God reminded him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, and I will help you speak and teach you what to say." Moses, still nervous, asked if someone else could help him. God, in his kindness, offered to send Moses' brother, Aaron, to help him speak. Aaron would go with Moses, and together they would lead God's people out of slavery. With these assurances, Moses finally accepted God's call. He returned to Midian, gathered his family, and set out on the path back to Egypt. God had not only called Moses to a mighty purpose, but had also shown him that he would be with him every step of the way. And so, from that miraculous encounter at the burning bush, Moses' journey as a leader began. He would return to Egypt, face Pharaoh, and lead God's people out of slavery, demonstrating the power of a compassionate God who hears, sees, and delivers his people. Moses learned that day that when God calls, he also equips and never leaves those who trust in him alone. The end.